and welcome back to my channel. So this week I'm doing another college themed video. So this video is a little bit different than you're going to see on a lot of other YouTube channels, but I know when I was looking for colleges, I actually kind of wanted to know how much people were getting from these colleges. So I, in this video, am going to be ranking my financial aid offers and basically commenting about my financial aid offers, the financial aid process at each school, and how I just overall felt about it. So let's get into it. So the first college, or one of the first colleges I heard back from was LMU. $72,000 to go. I got $12,500 in aid. I got $7,500 in scholarships, $3,200 in work study. So my cost of attendance would be $52,186, which was way over half of what my parents made in a year. So why I think they accepted me, even though they gave me such bad financial aid, small state where probably not a lot of people have applied to LMU for a couple of years. So they wanted to accept me to say, you know, we got someone from all 50 states. The second thing is that I did apply for an odd major. I applied for modern languages and I was going to do Spanish and Chinese. But I think overall, LMU's financial aid is probably not very good because they do have one of the best film programs in the country, so they don't really have issues with trying to find people to fill spots. Obviously, if you want to go into film and you want to study there, that is a great school to go to, and I'm sure many people would invest the money to go. But for me, I guess they just didn't really like me that much, so they didn't give me that much financial aid. So the second financial aid offer I got was from Emmanuel College, which is in Massachusetts, Boston, Massachusetts. So the cost of this school for 2020 to 2021 is $58,712. I got $30,000 in aid. I got $5,500 in loans. I got $2,000 in work study, bringing my total cost of attendance to $21,212 after the appeal. And what appealing financial aid means is basically it is a process that you can go through the university to appeal your financial aid and say, hey, maybe you guys didn't consider that, you know, there was a death in the family, or there were a lot of medical bills that we expected, COVID-19, things like that. There are different reasons why you can appeal financial aid, and you can just basically go through a process to appeal your financial aid and ask the school for more money. I think on average people will get anywhere from $1,000 more to, I think probably the highest I've heard is like $15,000 in an appeal. So it's definitely a right that I feel like a lot of college students should know and something that you should do. So if a school is close to being in your ballpark, there's no reason that you shouldn't ask, because the only thing they can say is no. So with Emmanuel College, a note that I made was that they don't have an official appealing process, and my kind of situation ended a little bit weirdly. She said that I got as much aid as I could get. I feel like overall, Emmanuel College's financial aid, whether it's good or bad, it depends on who you are. For some families, under $30K is a really good financial aid offer. But for my family personally, we wanted under $15,000 to be a very good financial aid offer without loans. So it really just depends on who you are, what your family's economic circumstance is. And keep in mind, with all of these schools, you would be getting into like $30K of debt on top of having to pay whatever the cost of attendance is. So keep that in mind, because you'd be taking out loans. So the third school I applied to and got financial aid from was UMass Boston. So the cost for out of state for UMass Boston is $54,472. For aid, I got $24,445. For loans, I got $5,500. Work study was unknown. I couldn't find it. So my total cost of attendance was $24,527 after the appeal. So with UMass Boston, it's a prime example of how most financial aid offices work. So most schools will have a merit-based financial aid. So if you have high stats, that is where you're going to get money from. And then they have need-based on the other side. If you basically have any other, you know, like needs of like you cannot afford that, they will supplement need-based as well. That's how most schools work. But obviously there are a lot of exceptions to the rules, especially if you go higher up in ranking. They often will not have both. So I only appealed merit and I got $1,000 more. But there was a financial aid mistake in the registrar. They sent me the wrong financial aid package halfway through the year. So I got my original one and then I got a new one, which was like $19K cheaper, which is a problem because I'm like, if I would have rejected all my offers and then committed and then be like there was a mistake, that would have been a big thing. And then they didn't even apologize. And that was a little messy to me. So I think overall with UMass Boston's financial aid process, have high stats and you're an out-of-state applicant, I would say it's worth a shot. And their financial aid is pretty transparent. Like on the website it will say like if you have this GPA, this ACT, like this is what you should expect, or this range. So the fourth school I applied to and got financial aid from was the University of Missouri. So it cost $41,002 out of state. The aid I got was $17,580, $5,500 in loans, no work study that I could find, so my cost would be $17,922. I did not appeal this financial aid because at this point I got into Tufts, so I didn't see a point of me appealing it because I was like, I don't really want to go there anymore. But basically they did, I think, mess up on my financial aid. There was a couple other scholarships I should have gotten, but I don't think they actually calculated it. But again, I got into a school I liked better, so there was no point in me wasting time and like trying to appeal for it not to change my mind. So, but I really do like Mizzou's financial aid process. So if you go on the website, kind of like UMass Boston, you will see if I have this ACT, this GPA, this is how much money I will get. But instead of it being a range, it's the actual number. There are also other scholarships you can apply for there. They make it very transparent. So like if you have over a 26 or a 28, I think a 26 like is the start of it. That's like the top scholarship that you can get. If you get over a 30, you get an out-of-state fee waiver. So I think there's just like a lot of opportunities and really cool things that you can get at Mizzou for having high stats, or just to apply if you want a cheap school out of state. I know it's like in a rural town in Missouri, but actually it's a pretty cool vibe. It has a great journalism program and great research. So I would say like it's honestly worth the application because it's only like 30 or 40 bucks. So I would say go for it because it is such clear financial aid. Like it may be one of the cheapest options you get. So my fifth school I applied to was Wentworth Institute of Technology in Boston, Massachusetts. So the cost of this school was $51,540. Aid I got was $23,300. Loans I got $5,500. Work study I got $2,000. So the overall cost for me would be $20,740. So one thing that I did not like about the Wentworth Institute of Technology process was the appeal process was super specific. To the point it kind of seemed like they didn't really care if like stuff happened. It had to be like divorce, a death in the family. It could not be like credit card debt. It couldn't be moving. It couldn't like, they were very, very specific. It had to be medical bills, but they had to be over 10% or 20% of your income. It was like super duper crazy specific stuff. So they really kind of didn't really give you a chance to appeal unless something like that happened to you. And I thought that was a little bit problematic because I'm like, you know, life just happens, but they just really didn't allow you to appeal basically at all. So the sixth one is the University of Arkansas. So this is my in-state school. So keep that in mind if the numbers are a lot lower. So the University of Arkansas, rounding it up, cost $26,000. So I got $13,000 in aid, but only $5K of that was included all 4 years. So there was only one renewable scholarship I got from the University of Arkansas, and all the other ones were first year scholarships, so they would go away. And then I got $5,500 in loans. I got no work study. So I'm going to confess right now, I couldn't actually find my financial aid offer from University of Arkansas. I got an email one time, but I never got to see this is the direct cost, this is how much we're going to charge you. I never saw that. So I'm just going with what I like basically saw and what I know of what I got. So my total cost of attendance was going to be $7,500 for the first year. So for the University of Arkansas Fayetteville, which is our state school, What I would say about it is that it's a good school to apply to if you are an out-of-state applicant. Arkansas has shown over and over and over again that they do not really care about in-state applicants. I had many friends who go there and they have to take out a lot of loans to go to an in-state college when they could have gone anywhere else and gotten a lot more money, which is really problematic. So two things that kind of prove my point is that if you have over a 23 at the University of Arkansas and you are an out-of-state applicant, they will automatically give you a fee waiver. They are very big fans of people from Texas and Oklahoma and bordering states that want to go out of state and want a big school experience, but they really don't do much to keep in-state students in state. My seventh school, second to last school I got financial aid from, was Pepperdine University. So that's in Malibu, California. The cost of attendance is $74,378. I got $52,000 in aid, $5,500 in loans, $3,000 in work study. So my cost of attendance would have been $13,878. So I did appeal at this school and they gave me $10,000 for my appeal. So that was probably one of the biggest appeals. But it seems like that is a trend. I asked somebody else, how much did they get for their appeal, and apparently they also got $10,000. So I'm not sure if that's just a thing that they do, or maybe it was just because we were both from the same church body, so maybe that was what happened. Church affiliation does sometimes play a role in how much financial aid you get. I grew up in an off branch of the Church of Christ. So they counted me as a Church of Christ member and gave me a lot more financial aid than most other kids get from Pepperdine. Also, a lot of kids who go to Pepperdine are very rich, so they do not need financial aid at all. So, the thing that I would say about Pepperdine's financial aid is I think it is historically bad. It's historically, half rides and just not very much money. They tend to make people pay a lot to go there. For example, national merits, they only get, I think, like 10,000, and that may be like ballparking it like way too high, but they only get like $10,000 a year to go. Where in other state schools with a national merit scholar, they will pay a lot of tuition and then give you a stipend at some schools. So I feel like they're kind of out of touch in that way, and the top scholarships are not very much. So like the presidential scholarship, for example, at Pepperdine, I think is only $20,000 a year. So even if you are at the very top of academics at Pepperdine, it just doesn't seem like they give you a lot of aid unless you're a Church of Christ. And when I was talking about financial aid and how I kind of wanted a little bit more because obviously I didn't want to take out loans, I was talking to this guy and he was like, honestly, you probably got more than like 95% of people who go there. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So number 8, the 8th and final school is the school I'm going to, Roll Bows. I'm going to Tufts University in the fall. So I'm not actually going to say how much aid I got in number amount, but I will give you a ballpark percentage of how much I got. So Tufts is the most expensive school I applied to, I believe. So it is $76,492. And after the appeal, I got over 80% of my tuition paid for. So it is over 80% by a little bit. So I'm very, very happy about Tufts financial aid. It was one of my cheapest offers. So I will say two things about the financial aid process at Tufts University. So there's no merit-based scholarships at Tufts University. When you're looking at a lot of academic excellence, there's no point of giving everyone really good, aid because everyone has good grades, because that's kind of the standard of why they got in here. So they do not do merit, but they meet 100% of demonstrated need. So however they calculate your demonstrated need is how much they're going to meet and how much it's going to cost. I will say that the online calculator, the net price calculator that Tufts has on their website, is pretty accurate. The second thing is that Tufts has very weird outside scholarship policies. Tufts University, I did not want to lie about how good or bad their financial aid was, because even though it was good for me, I know I heard on my group chat that some people did not get the best financial aid. So I took a poll of Tufts 2024 financial aid, and basically I asked people how their financial aid was. So I would overall say Tufts University's financial aid is a hit or miss. Some people get very good aid and some people don't get enough or not at all. But their appeal process is very smooth, so I would recommend just applying, because the worst you can hear is a no, or the worst you can see is that maybe you just have to apply to a couple outside scholarships to make it work. But I wouldn't say count Tufts out, but I would say it's kind of a 50-50 chance. Thank you guys for watching this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was super duper long, but I hope it was informative of me basically talking about my financial aid. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!